children, welcome back to online section of Sri Gokulam Guruvayur. Here I am Binsi, your economics teacher. In previous class, we have discussed about what is environment and the functions of environment. So the second part of this chapter deals with the state of India's environment. Today we will discuss about the state of India's environment. So first, the geographical features of India. India is a rich land with numerous resources. It has rich quality of soil, hundreds of rivers, green forests, plenty of mineral deposits, etc. The black soil of Deccan Plateau is particularly suitable for cultivation of cotton, that leading to concentration of textile industry in this region. The Indo-Gangetic plains are one of the most fertile, intensively cultivated and densely populated region in the world. Then India's forests provide green cover for a majority of its population and natural cover for its wildlife. India has large deposit of iron ore, coal and natural gas. But however, there are few important concerns. There are air pollution, water pollution, deforestation, soil erosion and wildlife extinction, etc. From among these, the priority issues identified are land degradation, biodiversity loss, air pollution, management of fresh water and solid waste management. So, first we are moving on land degradation. What are the factors that lead to land degradation? Land degradation is one of the major components of India's pollution. So, it could cause due to loss of vegetation occurring due to deforestation, unsustainable fuel wood and fodder extraction, shifting cultivation, encroachment into forest land, forest fire and overgrazing, non-adoption of adequate soil conservation measures, improper crop rotation, indiscriminate use of fertilizer and pesticides, improper planning and management of irrigation system, extraction of groundwater in excess of recharge capacity, and also poverty of the agri-dependent people. These are the main reasons for the land degradation in India. Now, if we look on to an overall picture of India, the high density of population and livestock and competing use of land for different purposes exert an enormous pressure on the India's finite land resources. The per capita land in the country has only 0.06 hectares against the requirement of 0.47 hectares to meet basic needs. Then also soil is being eroded at a rate of 5.3 million tons a year for the entire country. As a result of which the country loses 0.8 million tons of nitrogen, 1.8 million tons of phosphorus and 26.3 million tons of potassium every year. Then the next major environmental issue in India is air pollution. The main contributor of air pollution in India are vehicle, industries and thermal power plants. Emission from the vehicles mainly in the form of carbon lead to air pollution. The number of vehicles registered which have increased from 3 lakhs in 1950-51 to 67 crore in 2013. And also industries with unplanned urbanization, pollution and the risk of accident also lead to the increase in the density of air pollution. Then, the Government of India set up Central Pollution Control Board in 1974 in order to address two major environmental concerns, that is water and air pollution. So, Central Pollution Control Board was set up in 1974. This was followed by states establishing their own state level boards to address all environmental concerns. The main function of this board are: they investigate, collect and disseminate information related to water, air and land pollution, lay down standards for trade effluent and emission, and also provide technical assistance to government in promoting cleanliness of streams and wells. And it improves the quality of air and prevent and control water and air pollution. So this board has identified 17 categories of industries as significantly polluting our nation. Then you have to study about the Chipko movement. You may be aware of Chipko movement. What is Chipko movement? It aimed at protecting forests in the Himalayas on 8 September 1983. When the felling of trees was started in Salkani forest in Sirsi district, then 160 men, women and children hugged the trees and forced the woodcutter to leave. They kept vigil in the forest over the next 6 weeks. Only after the forest officials assured the volunteers that the trees will be cut scientifically and in accordance with the working plan of the trees. This is known as Chipko movement. In Karnataka, a similar movement took a different name, that was Apiko movement. So Chipko movement in Karnataka is otherwise known as Apiko movement. All these points highlight the challenges to India's environment. The economy and environment should go hand in hand. For this, we consciously adopt a path of sustainable development. So, let's conclude today's section. It was a small section about the environmental status of India. In our country, degradation of land and all kinds of pollution are increasing day by day. So, this will result in both environmental and economic crisis. Here is the importance of sustainable development that we'll discuss on the next class. So, children, watch the YouTube video related to our topic. Attend the test paper, read your textbook. So children, see you again. Bye.